Everyone, if you're new to my channel, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Oh man, another great day for President Trump in New York City all day. The courtroom, things went very well for him in court, but I want to talk about what happened this morning, and this was just an amazing thing. So, New York is one of a handful of places that is just Democrat country. New York, Chicago, LA, I know there's some other places, but the heart of American liberalism has really been in New York City. That's where the fake news are all based out of, the national fake news, and that's where so many of the power brokers of the Democrat Party are located, in New York. And New York is a place that when a baby is born, historically, they give the parents two things when a baby's born: a birth certificate and a Democrat voter's registration card. And Trump went to New York early this morning, stopped off with some construction workers, and boom. I mean, they were just loving on Trump. And I'm going to play some of the audio. We're going to go through this. This guy here probably has been declared by the Biden White House as public enemy number one. This is the new Joe the Plumber. Remember Joe the Plumber? When he went up to Obama and he says, "I'm trying to start a business, but your new tax plan," all that. And then Obama's response was, well, everyone's got to have some skin in the game. Sometimes you got to spread the wealth around, which is Marxism 101. And Joe the Plumber became a folk hero, and the left, the media, went out to destroy his life. This guy here is the new Joe the Plumber. I mean, there's just no getting around it. And I'll go through this story and then I'll play the audio. Ex-users, Twitter, ex-users fall in love with construction worker at Trump appearance who says exactly what he thinks of Biden. This man represents the majority of America verbatim. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. One of the hundreds of construction workers who turned out to support Donald Trump in New York has captured the heart of the nation. That's right, our new Joe the Plumber. With his savage takedown of Joe Biden, the unknown worker had been part of the crowds gathered as the former president made a visit to a construction site in Midtown Manhattan on Thursday morning. Crowds of construction workers and supporters lined up through the night as they anxiously, keep in mind, New York City, people are lining up through the night to catch a glimpse. By the way, this Make America Great Again hat was sent to me by a viewer here on YouTube. Thank you so much. I'm going to wear this on the cruise on formal night with my nice suit, the one I wore to Mar-a-Lago to go to that cocktail party with the president, and because I figure this is like the formal Make America Great Again hat for your formal wear and tuxedos. Crowds of construction workers and supporters lined up through the night as they anxiously waited to catch a glimpse of their beloved president in what is normally liberal heartland. That's right, New York City. Keep in mind, these aren't just New Yorkers, New York City New Yorkers, right? These are union men, too. Union men. So we got New York City union guys loving on Trump. After Trump left the site, one construction worker was asked by a Newsmax reporter, "What's it like seeing so many Republicans in Manhattan? So many Trump supporters in Manhattan. Does that surprise you?" The man dressed ready for work didn't hesitate. No, not at all. It's turning now. It's Trump's turn. He was then asked for his message to Joe Biden. And that's when he dropped it, right? I'll play the clip in just a minute. Without missing a beat, he said, "F you." That's his message to Joe Biden. F you. I'll play the clip in a minute. He's now being hailed as a hero on social media. That's right. Joe the Plumber 2024. This is pretty much the sentiment of all blue-collar, hard-working Americans, really any American for that matter. Well said, sir, the Newsmax reporter said. Another person posted, "This is the man representing the working class," while another commented, "This man represents the majority of America verbatim." No doubt about it. That's right. Not just construction workers, but America. That's right. Another added, "I think he speaks for most of us Americans." A user added, Sounds like the rank and file are not supporting Biden. Bidenomics is bad for workers. So, of course, that makes perfect sense. No doubt about it. Trump was greeted by hundreds chanting USA, USA. Chanting USA. Meanwhile, you got the Democrats down the street of Columbia saying, F America, right? And, that's what they're doing over there. And we've got the Trump lovers over there chanting USA, USA. Trump was greeted by hundreds chanting USA, USA as he met union workers in New York City on the moment of on the day of another court appearance with this crooked judge. President Trump greeted Teamsters on a construction site and signed MAGA hats as he prepared for another day of testimony in this crooked judge's courtroom. I mean, look at this. This is great. I mean, don't you love it? We love Trump in USA. Doesn't get better than that, does it? I mean, that's America. That's it right there. Meanwhile, he and his lawyer his lawyer, I should say, is heading to the Supreme Court. That went on today. There's the president with one of the union guys. Look at this. This guy's from the Carpenters Union. Carpenters. Oh my goodness. I mean, when have you seen union guys like this cheering on a Republican? And the thing about this senile old coot, the corrupt Joe Biden, is he bills himself as the union president. He's the union man. I don't see union guys out there like this for Biden. In fact, the union guys are saying F Joe Biden, right? That's what they were saying. Trump spent 30 minutes signing hats and helmets, taking selfies with supporters and workers who were waiting anxiously to meet him. After the motorcade left the area, the large group quickly dispersed, with the majority of workers who had gathered for hours returning to the site. Yeah, they had to go to work. These aren't liberals that can hang out all day. After his stop in Manhattan, he headed to court for the third day of David Pecker's testimony from the Inquirer, which we will get into. This is just historic. In fact, there's a new poll out that shows Trump is now within 10 points of Biden in New York. And I know you might say, well, 10 points, what's the big deal? In New York, that's a big deal. You factor in the margin of error, which is 3 or 4 points. Trump's like 5-6 points behind Biden in New York. And things are just starting. And that's probably a liberally biased poll. I mean, they may be dead even. Trump may be even ahead right now in New York. And President Trump was talking today about making a play and having rallies in New York. Republicans have written off New York for a long time. Now, if you're new to my channel, I take live calls when I'm live streaming. And if you'd like to call in, the toll-free number is pinned to the top of the chat. All right, it's pinned to the top of the chat. It's toll-free number. You can call me live on the stream, whether you agree or disagree, whether you love Trump or not. And if you love Trump, you'll love my channel. If you don't love Trump, you watch me long enough, you will be red-pilled and you will love Trump too. I promise you. What is there not to love? So here's the moment. This is the Newsmax reporter. When I first saw this, I thought it was Right Side Broadcasting because they were there covering this morning. I thought, oh, this must be Brian Glenn caught this. And it wasn't Right Side. It was Newsmax, who a lot of us MAGA people, we went to Newsmax, and then they're very pro-Ukraine war here. So a lot of us are losing our confidence in Newsmax. But Newsmax did good today. Watch this.
What's it like seeing so many Republicans in Manhattan, so many Trump supporters in Manhattan? Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. It's turning now. Trump's turn again.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
Fuck you.
Oh, my goodness. You got to wonder, this is beautiful. Those of you that remember what they did to Joe the plumber, right? And it was Obama who screwed that up. With Joe the plumber, the fake news media not only investigated his whole background in life, they went and illegally obtained his sealed divorce records and put Joe the plumber's confidential divorce records, which is illegal in the news and online for everybody to read. And he joined. It was during the McCain-Palin campaign, and he was riding on the bus with John McCain and Sarah Palin, and giving speeches. And this guy here, I could see him at a Trump rally. Couldn't you? Could you see him at a Trump rally, up there speaking before Trump, or maybe Trump inviting him up and giving him the mic for a few minutes? Oh, this would be beautiful.
What's it like seeing so many Republicans in Manhattan, so many Trump supporters in Manhattan? Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. It's turning now. Trump's turn again.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
Fuck you.
What's it like seeing so many...
You know, I got to tell you that, you know, the F word is, I know it's a bad word, and I try not to use it too much, but I do on occasion, like everybody else. That is just the most descriptive word in the American, you know, standard English language, isn't it? I mean, it just is. There's just not, you know, it can be used for so many things in so many different ways.
Like seeing so many Republicans in Manhattan, so many Trump supporters in Manhattan. Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. It's turning now. Trump's turn again.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
Fuck you.
Okay. Yeah, and you know, this guy. That doesn't get old. I mean, I could just put that on a continuous loop. Now, question is about this incredible man. I know, couldn't you could listen to it all day? Yeah, exactly. It is funny. It is funny. And you know, the thing about things that are funny, just not that I'm a comedian or anything, but I know a little bit about comedy. For something to be funny, there has to be truth to it. Saying something that's not truthful, that doesn't have some truth in it, isn't funny. And everyone's thinking that way, especially in New York, where they're really screwed over, right? In New York. And that's why it's so funny, because it's a true statement. And so here's the boss, President Trump. That's right. And here's his detail. This is on Right Side Broadcasting today.
Mr. President, are you confident the Supreme Court's going to rule in your favor today? Are you confident?
Hear that? You can hardly hear him and the reporters on the microphones. They're yelling, "We love Trump." And I keep in mind, you know, these reporters, they have the microphones up close to them, and they're being drowned out by the crowd way behind them with the "We love Trump." New York City, this is historic, man.
It's going to rule in your favor today? Are you confident?
This is a group that wanted to be with I have a lot of support. I hear the Teamsters, you know, I've done a lot of work with Teamsters. I've built a lot of buildings with the Teamsters, and they like me, a lot of Teamsters here. And it's an amazing show of affection. But we did a great job.
Trump said, we got a lot of Teamsters here. It's an amazing show of affection, Trump said.
Mr. President,
We want Trump! We want Trump! We want Trump! I think he's maybe more Democrat. He's not a Democrat, you know, he's a people. Look at that building. What do you think you do? We built a lot of great buildings in the city with these people. And they give me great support. They're really amazing.
Mr. President.
I mean, this is so amazing that it's happening in New York City. You know, this isn't in another part of New York City. This is the equivalent of him getting cheered on in San Francisco or Los Angeles or MAGA country, as Jesse Smollett called it, on the south side of Chicago. This is a historic moment, you know? And not only is it a historic moment, it's a statement on this country and where it's at and where the hearts and minds of the American people are. You know, that no Republican, especially one that's been trashed like this great president, could walk the streets of New York and be cheered on like that. It is unheard of. And you know what's really interesting too, on top of that, not just the love that all these people have for President Trump, but also the lack of hecklers, right? You're not seeing the hecklers, which you know, in New York City, you would expect to have some hecklers. No hecklers, just Trump love. They can't even get together hecklers anymore. So here's the president speaking from the courthouse this morning.
That for 4 years, when I was president, we were respected all over the world. We had the best economy we've ever had. Everything was good. We had no wars. We defeated ISIS. We had no wars. We had no nothing. But we were respected all over the world. And now it's a disgrace. We also, by the way, had the single best border ever in recorded history of our country. We had the best border ever. We built 571 miles of wall. We were going to build 200 more miles, far more than I said we were going to build. But we had a country that was respected, and now we have a country that's a joke. It's being laughed at all over the world.
Yeah, that's true. Being laughed at all over the world. And, you know, I was listening in on the Supreme Court hearing today, and I listened to a lot of the Q&A with the justices and that lawyer. I thought that the lawyer for the Justice Department I thought was a woman because I was just listening in the car, and then I put on the TV. I was surprised it was a man, but it was. And I don't know, you guys let me know what you think. To me, listening to the questions of the Republicans, because it doesn't matter what the liberal justices think, listening to the Republican questioning today, it seems like they're going to go in favor of presidential immunity. And Alito in particular, Alito, who is so smart. I mean, he's like Trump smart, Alito. And Justice Alito, what he had said, he asked a question of the government lawyer. And it was kind of a trick question in a funny way. He said to Alito asked the lawyer, he asked him about, well, what if a president takes an action that he asked his attorney general if it's legal or not, and the attorney general says it's legal, he does it. Could he be prosecuted for that if the attorney general told him it was legal? And the government lawyer told Alito, he said no. And then Alito said to the lawyer, he says, well, doesn't that incentivize the presidents to appoint an attorney general who's going to be a yes man and tell them everything they do is legal? And then the guy looked like an idiot. So I think the tone very much is in favor of presidential immunity. And I was talking a lot about that this morning. If presidents don't have immunity, it would weaken this government and country in ways that we don't even understand. And when I was listening to the Justice Department lawyer, I was watching it, or listening, because there's no cameras in the Supreme Court, but I was telling my wife, I said, you know, what this is about, this is the deep state. Let me pick up the phone here. You're on the air. Hold on, caller. It's the deep state trying to weaken the presidency and take over is what it is. You could tell, but I think they're gonna rule in Trump's favor, the Supreme Court, based on what I was listening to. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Yeah, you're right. Here's what pops out to me. In all these trials, they don't seem to be sending their best and brightest. Colangelo, Fannie Willis. Now, in this particular thing at the Supreme Court with this so-called guy, so-called lawyer, so-called solicitor, it's not their best and brightest, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think I know what you mean. I think the reason they have like the lower level quality of lawyers is because they're asking people to do something that's illegal, persecute the leader of the political opposition, Donald Trump. So they can't get the best of the best for that. They got to get the bottom of the barrel people like Fannie Willis and this idiot today arguing in front of the Supreme Court for the government.
Yeah, he's going to give them, he's going to win his immunity, and when he does that, Fannie Willis is done, and so is Jack Smith.
Absolutely. Hey, appreciate the call, Mike. Take care. Thanks for calling. Yeah, so it looked pretty much in favor. So here's Trump in outside the court. Let's go back to it.
And you have riots at all the universities. The only place that's locked down is this courthouse because they don't want any supporters here. They don't want MAGA here. They don't want anybody. And this thing is locked down like a buttoned-up vest, and it shouldn't be. If they did the same lockdown at Columbia, NYU, and the colleges and universities, you'd have no problem whatsoever. But there, you can put tents up, you can stay as long as you want.
Isn't this guy so smart, Donald Trump? President Trump is brilliant. So it's so funny because day before yesterday, my wife Kathy and I were talking about this on one of our podcasts this week. The mainstream fake news media were out there saying there's no supporters, there's no MAGA supporters, there's no Trump supporters at the court. And President Trump, he must have seen that story, and he said they got it locked down so you can't have supporters there. They don't want a show of support for him at the courthouse. And he pointed that out. And he also said if they did this at Columbia, this would all be cleaned up. But they're not cleaning up Columbia because they want that Islamic vote so bad.
But this courthouse is locked down. There's not a person within 5 blocks. They have more police here than, and I call them New York's finest because that's what they are. And they don't want to be doing this either. They like to be straightening out conditions, and they'd like to be at the colleges and making sure that they don't have what's happening, because what's happening at the colleges is a disgrace. All over the world, people are laughing at us. This is the worst run country right now, probably anywhere, just about. You don't get much worse. We have a president who's a disaster. We have a president who's the worst president in the history of our country. All you have to do is look at the millions of people coming in from prisons, from mental institutions, and terrorists. They're coming in at levels we've never seen before. So I'm going to go in now and sit in front of a case, election interference. This is the way they think they're going to get elected. But I guess based on what I'm looking at, it's driving up my poll numbers, not driving them down. Thank you very much.
There he is, the boss. Oh, my goodness. And he walks away. That's like a mic drop moment, isn't it? And he just walks away, doesn't talk to these jerk-offs in the fake news media. No, I mean, it's just things are going well. Now, this thing about the Supreme Court, I'll ask you guys this question. You can let me know in the chat if you're watching live. If you're not watching live, you can let me know in the comments. And I do read the comments on the YouTube videos, guys, by the way. I do read the comments. Even if I don't respond, sometimes I'll give a heart or a like. Sometimes I respond. But I do read them all, even if I don't give any kind of response. So I do appreciate the comments you guys leave. Now, here's a question. Hey, caller, hold on just 1 second. I'll throw this question out to you, to all of you out there to answer. If the Supreme Court rules in favor of presidential immunity, that means these cases are all done, right? Will this judge in New York say, well, Supreme Court ruled presidential immunity, we have no case, or will he keep the trial going? And if he does, will Trump show up? Probably not. And when Trump doesn't show up, how will the judge handle it? Yeah. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Sean from Massachusetts.
Hey, Sean.
Well, just like you said, I mean, this man is the boss. And what I love about Trump's focus is he gets right out there, right out of the courtroom, and he just focuses on his mission and to save this country. He just lets everyone know, reminds us, we all know, but he has to let everyone, he's directing it right to the enemy. He's like, yep, I know what I'm here to do. You're not going to stop me from doing this. I'm going to be keeping going forward. I'm getting more momentum. More people are coming to me. Yeah. I think he's going to win this case too. He'll get immunity. And I thought that was pretty interesting how Kavanaugh questioned the lawyer, the DOJ lawyer, about, what about Obama and his drone strikes?
Oh, yes. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. I'm glad that was mentioned. And we got to hold these people accountable. The deep state, I mean, the globalists themselves, the central bank system, the whole deal, because there's a lot of dirty dealings, of course.
Absolutely.
Every second of every day.
So I'll run this by because you followed this. Yeah, that was the question was great today. So I would say they're going to. This is how I think it should come down. Presidential immunity should apply, except, and I didn't come up with this. I heard a legal expert on Fox talk about this early this morning. This is not my original thought, but I thought it made sense. And they were saying that the Supreme Court could rule that there's presidential immunity except if a president is impeached and convicted in the Senate. If he's convicted in the Senate of a crime that he's impeached for, then immunity would not apply. Now, no one's ever been found guilty and removed in the Senate trial, going back to Andrew Johnson. But I think that's fair. I think that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
But let me ask you though, if the Supreme Court rules in favor of Trump's position of presidential immunity, all these cases are done. Will this New York judge, the Fannie Willis judge in Fulton County, the J6 judge, will they say, well, it's over, presidential immunity, or will they keep these cases going and trials going?
these are vicious, ferocious people, not for any good reason. They're not going to stop.
Even if the Supreme Court says they can't, you think this judge in New York will still continue the trial, even if the Supreme Court says presidential immunity?
Well, because they don't look at they look at to see how they view it. This is Trump's Supreme Court, so they don't legitimize anything.
It's not a legitimate Supreme Court because it's a Trump Supreme Court.
Yeah. To them,
yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah, to them, and it is a very legitimate, and it's just absolutely insane. This is how they do it. As long as it doesn't go with them.
Well, my recollection is that the only time I know of the Supreme Court being overruled, I mean, not overruled, because they can't be overruled. The only time I know of the Supreme Court being ignored is when the Democrats wouldn't allow blacks to go to public school when segregation was ended by the court, right? So this judge couldn't continue. If he did not continue the case, he could be arrested.
Yeah. This is just such a lousy. The Democrats, the uniparty, all these guys, they're setting such a lousy precedent because
they're terrible.
What do they think's going to happen when it's so bad for this? They really just don't give a shit, It's absolutely. What are they going to do when Trump comes back? I mean, he has every means to do the right thing by this country, and he's got a lot of mess to clean up, and that means going after certain. He might, because what are they going to do? I mean, if he really wants to do it, I think he's going to be busy fixing everything. He's got a lot to do. He cares about.
Yeah, but he's going to delegate. Everyone keeps. I was talking about this on one of my live streams early this morning. Everyone's talking about who his vice president will be, and that's important. But I think his most important pick is who his attorney general will be, because Trump's attorney general's got a lot of crime to look into from all this lawfare.
I wonder who it could be. What do you think it's going to be?
Somebody with a big pair of balls, I would hope.
Yeah. It has for starters.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's so much we got to do. I think that Trump's going to do everything and then some. When he gets back in there, he's going to do a 16-year load in 4 years. I mean, I think this guy can do
16 years and 4. That's right. That's the Trump. Hey, listen, appreciate the call, man. Thanks so much. Yeah, when I'm live streaming from one of my studios, I take live calls like I am now. So if you're watching live, the toll-free number is pinned to the top of the chat, and you're welcome to call in. So here's President Trump. He's same place with all those great Trump MAGA construction workers. He's got a microphone in hand talking to the press.
Leading every swing state by a lot, and we're leading the nation by a lot. He's the worst president in the history of our country. He makes Jimmy Carter look great. Jimmy Carter is very happy because his presidency was brilliant by comparison. But this is the worst president we've ever had. He's destroying our country. Close the borders. You can do it in one phone call. You can close the borders. Close up the borders, Joe. Our country's going to hell. Every swing state by a lot, and we're leading.
Another mic drop. Literally, he dropped the mic when he did that. This is what a moment. I mean, and the thing about this is it was so spontaneous. It just kind of happened. Yeah, let me play it again. This I could play this all day. I love this.
What's it like seeing so many Republicans in Manhattan, so many Trump supporters in Manhattan? Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. It's turning now. Trump's turn again.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
Fuck you.
It never gets old. Now, this guy, if he starts speaking at Trump rallies, he's got to wear his hard hat and this thing here for the road, so people, will recognize him. I don't want to see him come up there in a suit or anything, but if he does, he does. Now, Carolyn Levitt, who is Trump's press person now, she posted this. Now, keep in mind, these are union guys in New York City. This is spectacular. They probably got the Department of Homeland Security using facial recognition, trying to figure out who all these people are right now, right? I mean, I just love it. I love it. And it does give you a lot of energy because, it's so easy to get discouraged with all this crap. that they do all the time, all this lawfare. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, okay? And those of you that are already subbed, like the video, okay? If you're new to my channel, sub. You'll love my content. I put a lot of good content up here, cover all the big stories, and we talk about all of them. But, you know, all this lawfare going on and everything, and it's so refreshing to see these Teamsters, these union guys in New York City, where we are, right? Where you are, where I am. So, you know, and that's how big the MAGA movement is. The MAGA movement's always been big since Trump came down the escalator. But there's been a snowball effect since they broke into Mar-a-Lago. And it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. By the way, just an update on that, because I know they got a new story of what they were looking for, some Obama documents at Mar-a-Lago and something with North Korea. That story's not new. Months ago that came out. It's getting kind of a rehash. The North Korea thing, it was reported that it was a Kim Jong-un letter to Trump. But the Obama documents, this was reported many, many months ago, and I talked about it then. What the Obama documents were is they for some reason got it in their head that inside his safe at Mar-a-Lago, that's why they brought the FBI brought a safe cracker with them, that he had a binder, and it was very specific about a binder, which probably means it came from Romney, that he had a binder with documents detailing Obama spy operation on him at Trump Tower. And that's what the Obama documents were they were looking for. So here's the great President Trump right here meeting with these guys, and this was on Fox earlier.
It was great to see the president come and engage.
Oh yeah, I forgot. This is the Steam Fitters union guy.
Engaging with the blue collar worker of New York City. We basically built New York. The union movement has made the middle class, and we are very patriotic union. And we are pro-America. So my members right now, I put out a poll in my union. President Trump is leading Joe Biden 3-1 on my presidential poll out of my 9,000 members right now. We are very tired of
3-1.
The situation with groceries, inflation, gas prices, illegal immigration, crime. We're living it every day in New York City. It was great to...
Yeah, I mean, and you see these issues are the ones that we have been talking about. All of us have been the primary issue or issues that have been facing people: crime, inflation, the border. And to have a union leader come out and just endorse a Republican, I don't think that's happened since the Reagan era. When's the last time a union leader's come out and endorsed a Republican? Now, this is amazing. So these Hamas groups that have been taking over these universities, there's a video that came out, and of course I'm in Florida. You know, got my little Florida map on my shirt here. Florida State University in Tallahassee, they had this Hamas crowd come out, and they're out there protesting. And one of our Florida State guys, he knows how to handle these Hamas people. Watch this.
Dude, I love he's wearing his Jewish star too.
See, this guy back here, one of our Florida State boys. This is the Florida State University. See what he just did? So all these Hamas people, they're protesting in this field. And they covered the sprinkler up because they're on a timer with a chair. And this Florida State guy, he just went over and picked up the cover off the sprinkler. That's right. And now the Hitler Youth wannabes are getting soaking wet by the sprinkler.
He's wearing his Jewish star too.
Oh, he's Jewish. She just said he's wearing his Jewish star. Oh my goodness. So I got a call today. Towards the end of the morning show, and the guy said, "Why aren't the Jews standing up? This kid's a Jew," and he handled them in the best way.
Dude, I love he's wearing his Jewish star too.
Oh, you gotta love it. And then he just walks away. You know, like that's like a Trump move. That's beautiful. Hitler Youth soaking wet. That's probably enough to get them to go home, right? I mean, they're so snowflakes. Now, this is also same construction site, a different union guy interviewed this morning from the Trump event.
A lot of people are talking about how unusual it is to see so many Trump supporters in Manhattan at 4, 5, 6 in the morning. Does that surprise you?
No, absolutely not. Demographics have changed. The administration that's in there right now isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not taking care of American people. So we need somebody in there to take care of American people. That's it.
Well, I mean, that's absolutely amazing. And he's the second one who said the political demographic is changing. People are being red-pilled. These are historically Democrat people, and they've changed. It's huge.
In Manhattan at 4, 5, 6 in the morning. Does that surprise you?
No, absolutely not. Demographics have changed. The administration that's in there right now isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not taking care of American people. So we need somebody in there to take care of American people. That's it.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
Joe Biden, give it up.
Yeah, give it up. F you. They got great messages. And, you know, the common theme with the Democrats since Biden came on the scene has been always others. They're worried about not the American people, but the South American people. They're worried about the Ukrainian people. They're worried about the Palestinian terrorist people. There's nothing that the Biden-Obama third term here in the last 3.5 years has done that benefits any United States of Americans, okay? And that's a fact. And I'm so happy that so many in the country are aware of this. And if they're feeling this way in New York City, they're feeling this way everywhere. And this is going to have a tremendous impact on not just the presidential election, but our congressional elections, our House races. And it's going to have a big impact in statewide elections. I don't know the number offhand, but there are governors that are up in November. And there are state houses and state senates. And, you know, when Newt Gingrich in 1994 came in with the Contract for America, and the Republicans took over both the House and both the House and the Senate for the first time in like 30 or 40 years at that time, there was also a big pickup of governors and state legislators of Republicans. And this attitude will help us in all of those as well. So this Republican sweep won't just be the presidency, be the House. The Senate's a little more difficult, you know, because so little of it's up. But we're going to do very well in our state legislatures and in our governor's races, too. All right, here's Newsmax on the scene. More interviews from the Trump, well, I guess it was basically a Trump rally at the construction site.
In the past, we are basically Democrats, all of us, and after what's...
This is the Steam Fitters Union guy that I played a minute ago. More extensive, longer version of the interview.
In the past... we are basically Democrats, all of us, and after what's happened the last 4 years in this country, Democrats are basically pushing everybody to the other side. We're a very patriotic group, and we love our country, and we want the best for America. We are tired of immigration. We're tired of our tax dollars going to immigration. We're tired of the crime. We need to put a handle on things in this country and bring it back to how it should be. I was talking about this a few weeks ago in the program, and this is a good time to talk about this. You know, this guy's a lifelong Democrat. So are these other Teamster guys. And a lot of Democrats are stepping up for Trump. And you may encounter people, like you can tell, he's not calling them illegals, he's calling them immigrants, because he's a Democrat, right? He's supporting Trump, he's endorsing Trump. So, you know, when some of our Democrats like this are voting for Trump, don't give them a lot of grief on a bunch of other issues. Okay? It's enough that they're voting for Trump. And if you start to give them grief on a bunch of other issues, you might turn them back. Okay? You don't want to do that. We want to welcome, these are the real newcomers, not these illegals are calling newcomers. These Teamster guys, they're the newcomers to the MAGA movement. In the past, we are basically Democrats, all of us, and after what's happened the last 4 years in this country, Democrats are basically pushing everybody to the other side. We're a very patriotic group, and we love our country, and we want the best for America. We are tired of immigration. We're tired of our tax dollars going to immigration. We're tired of the crime. We need to put a handle on things in this country and bring it back to how it should be. I put out a poll in my union. President Trump is leading Joe Biden 3-1 on my presidential poll out of my 9,000 members right now. We are very tired of the situation with groceries, inflation, gas prices, illegal immigration, crime. We're living it every day in New York City.
Yeah. I mean, this what a historic rally this was. I mean, it's just, there was no good news for the Democrats, but that's what we want. We don't want good news for the Democrats at all. I wanted to, let me pull this up. I wanted to share. Okay. Now, this is George Conway. Okay, our Lincoln Project guy over on CNN.
I'm also curious about, and I guess I put the emphasis on $929,600. Most people can't imagine giving $929 to a person running for office, right? It's just an ugly thing. They don't want to. So you're doing this, and you've been working your life as a lawyer. You've got children. You're choosing to do this.
Why am I doing this? And I thought, it's like, this is for all the marbles. This man. I mean, after what we saw on January 6th, what we saw afterwards, and what we see him now saying, he basically wants to turn the government into a vehicle for retribution against his political enemies. Oh
my God, yeah. Write out a rules for radicals. Accuse your opponent of doing what you're doing. Okay, so notice how they round up. It's $929,000 George Conway's giving to Biden. They rounded it up to $1 million. Right? They said $1 million. She said 929. Now it's $1 million. They rounded it up in the graphic. For someone to run around and act like they're a holier-than-thou conservative Republican, and they can't put up with Donald Trump because he's not a conservative Republican, and then they turn around and give almost $1 million to Joe Biden. I want you to think about that. Joe Biden just said today that he's going to give the biggest increase in capital gains taxes like in 100 years, okay? He's also going to let all the Trump tax cuts expire. So he's going to raise everyone's taxes by a lot. So to all of a sudden, to go around for years, say, well, we're the true Republicans. We're the conservatives. Donald Trump doesn't represent that. And then give $1 million to Biden. You're supporting these tax cuts. It says about $1 million. Hey, $929,000 is not about $1 million. It's pretty far away from $1 million. It's not about $1 million. They round it up. They want the graphic. You're in favor of tax increases, abortion on demand, an open border. There's nothing that Biden isn't supporting and promising. He's out there now trying to recruit some climate corps with AOC in a new video. Yeah, so these Lincoln Project guys can't run around acting like they're the true Republicans, they're the true conservatives, when they're supporting higher taxes, biggest tax increase in anyone's lifetime, a completely open border, abortion on demand, and everything else. And, of course, on CNN, they don't ask those questions and bring those points up to George Conway because they're all excited that he's not supporting Trump, and he's got an R next to his name on his voter registration card, at least he claims. So, they're going to let that fly. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, Sherry from Florida.
Hey, Sherry.
Isn't that a disgrace? How the hell did she marry him?
Oh, Kellyanne Conway?
Oh, my God. What a disgrace.
I know. Pretty bad.
Oh, it's deplorable. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know about this immunity thing. I don't know if they're going to do a partial. It sounds like they want to, you get your presidential, but like after office, they're kind of like, I don't know. I was listening a little bit to them. They're kind of like, especially the libs are kind of like, well, I don't know. After you leave, you're not above the law kind of attitude.
Yeah. No, it was a great day for Trump. The case is falling apart, and he had a rally in New York. It's awesome. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. Okay, so we've got some breaking news, and this is something else. This is David Pecker, the National Enquirer guy, day 2 of his testimony, and listen to this story.
stories. Pecker also said when he spoke to Trump about Trump reimbursing Michael Cohen for paying adult film actress Stormy Daniels, Trump told him he had no idea what Pecker was talking about. Pecker testified again about purchasing the lifetime rights to former Playboy model Karen McDougal's story as well. He said he did that in part because he and Cohen had concerns it would hurt Trump's campaign. Notably, he did not say those concerns came from Trump himself. Stories.
Okay, so David Pecker from the Inquirer just cleared Trump again today. He did it yesterday and today. He said all these, by the way, catch and killing stories is not a crime, but all of it was done by Michael Cohen, not Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't even have any knowledge of it. I think about that. So this is their first star witness. He's been on the witness stand for 2 days in this trial. Tuesday, they were off yesterday. He's back today, and he's cleared Trump both days of having any connection or even knowledge of the Stormy Daniels story. And, you know, I'd been telling you guys for quite some time, a story broke, I don't know, about a month and a half ago. And what the story was is that Michael Cohen had been having an affair with Stormy Daniels, and not Trump, and she did a shakedown of Michael Cohen. That's why he paid her out of the home equity line. And he had to explain it to his wife because it was a lot of money, and he did this fraudulent billing through the Trump organization to try to save his wife, his marriage. By the way, Michael Cohen's wife's Ukrainian. Coincidence, I don't know why he's involved in a Ukrainian family. Everything goes back to Ukraine. But this is a huge, damning bit of testimony today when the prosecution's star witness spent 2 days on the witness stand basically testifying for the defense. I mean, this is something. Here's some more analysis of it. Listen to this.
The case is very weak. It's obvious why Alvin Bragg originally didn't think this case should be the first case to go, but for practical matters, it was the only one that could proceed. And it's a real risk for them at this point because it's not looking good. It's not shaping up to really be a clear example of any criminal conduct. It's more confusing by the day.
Yeah, see, no criminal conduct. In fact, see, I played some audio this morning on my morning stream. CNN's legal analyst said no evidence of a crime. That was their word. No evidence of a crime, they said on CNN. And that was from 2 days, the opening and then Pecker's first day of testimony. And now we have another legal analyst. No evidence of a crime. Now, this, I wanted to share this. AOC went out in the woods. You saw some video of her walking through the woods, holding hands with Biden. And they made this video. And hold on, I got to turn the volume down because of the music. But watch this video. We'll talk about it. There's subtitles on the video, and they're trying to look cool with the aviator glasses. Okay, and yeah, here, they're putting together this climate corps. Yes. I'm AOC. I'm Biden. I'm Ed Markey. We're here to share some exciting news with you. Americans can now apply to join the American Climate Corps. The American Climate Corps, okay? And I'll talk about that in just a second. Those who become American Climate Corps members will get paid to fight the impacts of climate change while learning the skills to be a part of tomorrow's clean energy and climate resilience force. Right now, we're recruiting more than 2,000 positions located all across the country. To apply for the American Climate Corps job, visit climatecorps.gov. We're counting on you. Yes. Okay. So AOC, who looks like she's dressed in an Indiana Jones ladies version costume there. With this Climate Corps, you know what this is. They're putting together, don't they look so cool in the aviator glasses? I wear Ray-Bans, but I got the classic Ray-Bans, like Tom Cruise in Risky Business. These aviators, they're heavy, they hurt my nose. They're not comfortable, they're not cool, and he is a creep. And look how she's standing. Yeah, she thinks she's just so cool. What this Climate Corps is, it's a corps of snitches, and what they're going to do is go around and report people that they believe are well, have too large of a climate footprint. You know, here in Florida sometimes, I don't know if any of you have this happen in your communities, but sometimes there's droughts in Florida. We haven't had one for a while, but when there's droughts, they'll have restrictions on water usage. And you can't, water your grass or wash your car. And they'll have patrols going around writing tickets and reporting people for watering their lawn or washing their car. And if you remember during the lockdowns, there were local code enforcement officers and police all over the country that were arresting people and going around with health inspectors, putting companies out of business and restaurants out of business because they were open for business during lockdowns. Remember all of that? That's what this climate corps is about. You know, and they'll get a lot of people because I'm sure it's a good job. Probably don't have to do much, and they pay you some money. Here we go.
What's it like seeing so many Republicans in Manhattan, so many Trump supporters in Manhattan? Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. It's turning now. Trump's turn again.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
Fuck you.
Yeah. You know, and I like how the guy just walks away. It's just a complete mic drop moment. Now, if you would like to support my channel and all of my content, go to mypillow.com. Use my promo code Kane and check out Kane and load up on these great MyPillow products. I have so many of them. I have the pillows. I've got the towels. Let's see, what else do I got here? I've got the MyPillow 2.0, the slippers, the bed sheets. And, you know, the spring sale is going on. You can save up to 80% off with my promo code Kane. And you can take advantage of all the specials at mypillow.com with my promo code Kane, no matter what it says, not just the ones I talk about. And it's also free shipping on orders over $75 with my promo code Kane at checkout. The towels are amazing. 50% off. I have these towels. The slippers, I have the moccasin ones. I like those. They're spectacular. The MyPillow, My Coffee, 50% off. This is all with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. They even have socks now. There's so many great items, over 200 items. The MyPillow mattress topper, I have the mattress topper on all the beds in my house. I've been sleeping on it for years now. 50% off the MyPillow mattress topper with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And remember, when you use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane at mypillow.com, you save a lot of money, up to 80% off, as well as free shipping on orders over $75. And you're also supporting my channel here, my podcast, radio show, all my content. So it's a great way to support me and my content, and it's greatly appreciated. Promo code Kane, Kane at checkout at mypillow.com. Well, guys, I'm going to run, but thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Everyone who's already subbed, make sure you like the video. My name's Brian Craig. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.